Phantoms 3, Leeds Knights 2, 4-point weekend, and we never get Will Weldon when we've won. So, Will, great result, great weekend. That must make a world of difference from last Saturday.
Yeah, I stood here last week obviously in a completely different mood, and I think the perspective that we tried to have last Saturday, however hard it was that it doesn't make or break a season one game, and we've obviously bounced back. We put in a good performance in Hull, and then we've just done something that only one other team's done all season in beating Leeds, and we've done it twice in a row, so it feels good to be stood here.
Yeah, I'm not sure fully of the stats, but I think it might be their first road defeat in regulation, and that's big. I think they came out as we expected them to, hitting bodies. I think Callum got one in the first 10 seconds. I wondered if they'd been reading the MK kind of playbook, because he got hit early on and they laid a tone down. And in that game at Christmas time, we struggled to compete. Tonight we didn't struggle to compete. Tonight we stood toe to toe with who undoubtedly has been the best team in the league all ends up.
Yeah, I think they have. There's, just look at the table, but we don't look at them and fear them. And I think we showed that tonight. They started physical, and perhaps we're not as physical as some of the teams in this league, but we don't need to be. But we're not scared. We don't back down. And there might be nights where you can look and think that perhaps we had that MK game. Probably we weren't. Looking back, I don't think we stood up to the fight as much as perhaps we'd like to. But we're not a team that just folds under pressure. We're a team that's we strive to play in games like that, and we want to battle, and we want to feel like we're in games competing. And tonight was one of those games where it was, up until the last few seconds, any result was possible, and we did what was needed.
Key moments, of course, and Ralphs gets the go-ahead goal. End of the second, 5-on-3, but their penalty kill is something like 86%, 83%. They're a strong side, hearts in mouth the last couple of minutes, because Ralphs then takes a penalty, and they pull the netminder. So that was tough, perhaps more for us on the sidelines.
Yeah, it's obviously a nervy moment being on the bench. As soon as you're out there killing it, you're on the ice, you're obviously not really thinking of those kind of things. But the heart that was shown from, it's not to single anyone out, but you just have to look at that minute and a half or whatever. And I don't know how many shots Duncan threw himself in front of and blocked. And that's you talk about toughness and you talk about finishing hits, but that's a whole different kind of toughness. And there's not many people in this league that are as fearless as Duncan when it comes to jumping in front of shots, and there's other guys on our team that do the same. I think Robbo probably deserves a mention in that category, and they might not step up and look to run people over all night or be dropping their gloves, but I don't think there's many people that will be listening to this interview that have had a puck shot at them, whether you've got protection on or not, 80, 90 miles an hour from 10 feet away. Just trust me, it hurts, and that just shows the character that we've got in that locker room, that whatever it takes, guys are prepared to do it. Yeah,
I think the result is huge. I think last night the result was, as of course the result is of equal significance. And I think taking the 2 points out of Leeds last night was crucial, going into the final period 5-1, and they rally. They're going to rally, but it was huge because we didn't want to drop that game after that big lead. Going back, 2 more points for the interview. Going back to what you were just talking about, I think when I look at the team, one of the things I would credit you personally and the team with is accountability. So people stand up and acknowledge where it's not been right, and I think that's really important. But tonight it did come together, and last night it came together, and a good win against Hull. How does it set us up for the coming week, which is possibly for the Phantoms one of the biggest weeks in the season?
I think it sets us up. We're in a great position. I think ultimately we showed it going from last Saturday, where the dressing room was really low, and I came out here. We had an interview, and we don't hide behind anything. We hold our hands up and say when things aren't good enough. And equally, these last 3 games have been good. And again, it's easy to get on a real high from this weekend, but with last Saturday standing here and saying, it's not the end of the world, it's, we'll bounce back, it's the same message really, but from a positive perspective that it's done now. We've put in those performances, we've stood up, we've shown what we are as a team, but it counts for absolutely nothing going forward. And Thursday is obviously a massive game, and it's going to be a different challenge, and it doesn't matter if we'd won, lost, or split this weekend, whatever we'd done, it wouldn't necessarily have to impact Thursday, but it's always nicer going in with the positivity of a 4-point weekend as opposed to going in and being desperate because we're on the back of a couple of defeats. So whilst that's great, it's, there's a saying that has been used in the change room a lot over the years, and it's never too high, never too low, and I think that's key to remember that now, that great weekend, but we move on and we start again on Thursday. Yeah,
well, we're all looking forward to that. I'm sure the fan base is. It was great atmosphere in the old rink just at the very end there. A couple of unsung heroes, I guess. You've mentioned Dunks, you've mentioned Scott. Marzi obviously lights out towards the end, and I think although I've interviewed Martins already, and that'll go out for his 4 goals. It's quite nice to see Ralph's get the game-winning goal tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, he battles hard every week. He's obviously contributed a lot on the score sheet, but he's a classic kind of Phantoms player, Slava player, in the fact that it doesn't really matter if he's scoring or not. He's doing things the right way, and he battles hard, and he leaves nothing out there. And yeah, it was great for him to get that goal, and big celebration as always, which I know the fans love to see.
Yeah, they do. Right, thanks so much. Well done for the weekend.
Thank you.
Let's get it on for Thursday.
And a great win for Forest in the week, Phil. I've got to add.